Hello and welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary for Wednesday, March the 9th. My name is Eric Wilkinson. Some of you may recognize me as the Wolfman from CNBC, Fox Business, or even the Wall Street Journal, where I've commented on everything from economic to geopolitical and market analysis. Please keep in mind that everything that we talk about in these daily market commentaries is not a solicitation to buy or sell any of these securities or strategies. At the end of the day, we're here to teach you some different strategies that you can implement into your own portfolios, but please do that in your own way. The reason why I can't give you a recommendation on a particular stock or strategy is because I don't know your risk parameters. I don't know what's in your portfolios. Therefore, what I'm doing could be counterintuitive to what you are already doing. Having that out of the way, let's get this on. Some economic data that we had out today was wholesale inventories came in higher than expected, which means manufacturers are not moving those inventories, so that's not really a great sign. Just came in slightly above at 0.3% higher and was expected to have a drawdown of 0.2%. Crude oil inventories came in higher than expected at 3.9 million barrels versus 3 million barrels, so not hugely above what they were expecting, but we still continue to see this build in crude oil inventories that is a little astonishing at best. Despite that, crude oil is pushing higher. As you can see, yesterday we basically had an engulfing candle here, which would generally lead one to believe that it is bearish, but today we are just blasting off and retracing all of that again. So 3 in a row. It's kind of up, down, up. So a little bit crazy setup right there. On to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ right in the middle of the range for the most part. As you can see here, /NQ up about 6 points on the day. Pretty quiet for the most part. The overall market's kind of been slumping, but it's trying to really decide which way to go. So to me, I am bearish, but it could easily just blast off. It's just who gives in first, it looks like. Onto the E-mini S&Ps /ES. As you can see here, up on the day, up about 5 points, pretty close to the middle of its range also. The bulls and the bears are battling it out right now, trying to figure out which direction to go. So this shows that we are kind of having an inside day here, where the value areas are inside of yesterday's value areas and just kind of trying to trudge out. As you can see, the point of control from yesterday to today is very close in line. So that makes for very difficult trading at best, just because we're inside of there. On to some trades that I've done. I did these yesterday when we had the big sell-off in oil. I just didn't want to see this go down to the lows again, and it went up, tested the resistance area that I talked about and failed there a couple of times. So I decided that it was time to get out of these trades. Plus this Exxon Mobil, which is XOM ticker symbol, I put on for the Iron Condor webinar, and it came into line at 50% of max profit, so I took it off. And in that I had the April 72.5, 75, 90, 92.5 Iron Condor in there. And I originally sold it for 56 cents and I covered it for 28. So right there at 50% of my max profit. I've been trying to work that for a couple of days. Just put it in there when it was getting close, and finally got hit on that yesterday. So that trade is taken off, another winner for those Iron Condors. We've only had one Iron Condor that we had to adjust, and that was in the ADM so far. So we are beating the probabilities on that. On to USO, I had on the USO 10.5 calls. I had on the April 10.5 calls that I had bought, and I originally paid 17 cents for that. On that rally, I was able to cover them for 21 cents. So a little bit of profit there. Just looked like yesterday, especially even in USO, closing below the previous day's low. So I was looking at that as being pretty darn bearish. And lo and behold, again, we popped higher today off of the crude oil. So this is running lockstep with that. Covered those a little early, but took profits, and there's nothing wrong with that in my eyes. So I did what was given to me on that time and pulled the trigger. So the Iron Condor webinar went off really well. All of those condors are doing really well. Moving on, this week we are doing it on gearing up for earnings season. Now that we've just had earnings pass, we are looking forward to the earnings coming up, which is in a few months. So it's a good time to set up for these because we have really low implied volatility, and it gives us an opportunity to take advantage of implied volatility when it expands. We know it expands around those earnings trades, so if we get in well before it, we get to ride that volatility expansion. And I will go over all the details on how to figure that all out and when the right timing is to start implementing those trades. And you can go to protraderstrategies.com, sign up for that, and check out some of our other videos that we've done. That's all I got for you guys today, other than if you can't take that, take it easy.